So we know that 57% of Canadians are struggling with debt, and that's increased from last year. But did you know that women are struggling far more? And there's very good reason for that. We already know that women earn less than men. We know that women live longer than men. We know that we do the primary caregiving. And all of those factors have contributed to women facing a very significant affordability gap. So we go in debt more than the average Canadian because we struggle more with less to afford to pay for, housing costs, to pay for something as simple as food and groceries, to pay for a vacation. Many of us don't have vacations because many of us can't afford it. And so talking this month about debt is really an important subject for women. It's something that we also report causes us a lot of anxiety. And so I wanted to share a few tips on how you can deal with debt and what strategies you can use to pay off debt sooner. So the first thing I'm going to say about that is it's important to have the conversation about debt, especially with yourself. Many of us turn away from talking about our finances, never mind talking about debt, because there's a great deal of fear associated with being in debt. Typically when we look at our statements and we see that most of the money we're putting on our credit cards are going towards the interest payments and not the principal, and we feel like we're drowning in debt and we'll never make any progress. I can see why many women would feel ashamed about that, but there are things you can do. The first thing you need to do, or the second thing you need to do after facing debt, is become keenly aware of your credit score. How many of you out there know what your credit score is, what a good credit score is? Please look into what your credit score is and do everything you can to protect your credit. Women are notorious for lending out their credit to people. We really can't afford to put other people's debts in our name because your credit is your brand. It's your way of people identifying who you are and if you're a good person to lend money to. So a good credit score is at least 650, and a bad credit score is anything below that. So at least 650 is what you need to go to the bank and ask them for money. And if you don't know how to get access to your credit, you can check out a few websites. One of them is Equifax. So check out Equifax, check out TransUnion. These are two places that you can write them and they will give you a free copy of your credit score. You can also go online and check out a website called Credit Karma. And Credit Karma will give you an instant access to your credit report, and they'll also provide you with monthly updates on your credit score and what tips you can do to improve your score. So please do everything you can to learn about your credit score, protect your credit, don't lend it to anyone. Think very, very carefully about lending your credit out, putting debt in other people's name, in your name, because losing your credit, it takes 7 years to rebuild your credit, and that's one of the things that hold people back. It's very hard to become wealthy without using other people's money. So protect your credit, face your debt, and third, think about the future and anticipate things happening. Anticipate a rainy day. We talk a lot about sunny days and being wealthy, but one of the things that will get in the way of becoming wealthy and paying off debt is not anticipating bad things happening. Losing your job, getting divorced, getting sick are all things that can happen. And what can you do about it? Well, one of the things you can do is live below your means. And I talk about living below your means, and sometimes people judge me for talking about living below your means, especially if you see me in something like this lovely fur coat and you think that means I have money. I'm very, very clear about what I value versus what I think other people may value. people in the community who know me know I'm a huge resale shopper. And because I grew up in a very humble home where I was raised by a single mom and she had two of us, I was constantly wearing my sister's clothes. So actually most things were new to me. And so I call this fur coat new to me. I've had it for 8 years. It cost me $70 8 years ago. I'm not really concerned about what other people think of me. I'm most happy when I know that I have money in the bank working for me, money at work for me. And I know what wealth means for me. Wealth means peace of mind, knowing that I don't have debt, knowing that other people are helping me to build my wealth. I'm more concerned about that than worrying about what other people might think of me and worrying about keeping up with the Joneses. So what do you care about? What are your financial priorities? What are your financial goals? And is debt getting in the way? Be really, really clear about your financial goals, because if you do care about your financial goals and you care more about being wealthy than you care about what other people think, it was going to help you to live below your means. It's going to help you to build that financial fortress. It's going to help you to be in a position where you can have a future that looks like a future that's more likely to be debt-free. And then finally, because I deal with a lot of women who are single by either choice or chance, one of the things that you really have to think about is ensuring your lifestyle, ensuring that if you can't work, that you have a plan in place that makes sure that no matter what happens, you have your lifestyle protected and your cash flow is protected. And so, do you have an insurance policy at work? How much does it pay? Do you work for yourself? Are you self-employed? If you're self-employed and you can't work, what are you doing to make sure? Do you have a plan in place to make sure, an insurance plan in place to protect your income in the event that you're not able to work? And for those of you who are single by chance, who might be widows, do you have a plan in place to ensure the person who might have been the breadwinner? So if you weren't the breadwinner and your spouse dies, how do you manage to continue to maintain your lifestyle, maintain the lifestyle for your children, if you don't have an insurance plan on your partner to ensure that you have the cash flow that you need? So ensure your cash flow, ensure your family's cash flow, because that's one of the ways that it takes you out of poverty. It takes you out of having to go into debt to live, and it helps you to build a plan that gives you a chance to become wealthy. I can't talk enough about this. I talk to so many women who partners pass away and leave them in a financially precarious position simply because they never thought something could happen. They never thought that the unexpected could happen, that their partner could pass away or get sick. So build your financial fortress. Look at ways to pay off debt sooner. Look at ways that you can actually be debt-free sooner. And the only way to do that is to take responsibility for your finances. My last tip I'm going to share with you is really personal. It's really about the opportunity I had and the gift I had. I was raised by a single mom who really taught me the importance of investing in myself. And she did that by showing me constantly. She was always looking at ways she could improve how much income she was earning. She had a side hustle, looking at ways she could build more income for her family, just because she faced the same challenges many of you in the community face. She also took courses, was always looking at ways that she could improve her skills that she had in the job market. And so all of these things were things I was grateful to learn really early, and I really want to share that with you. Looking at ways to invest in yourself as a woman is really important. So consider, how do you add value in the job that you have? Are you taking courses? Are you getting skills that will make you more invaluable to your employer or even to the industry that you're in? Are you seeing yourself, especially as we enter this gig economy, are you seeing yourself as someone who is self-employed, even if you're working inside of a company? Because ultimately that will make you more employable and less likely to face, and I mean there's no guarantee, but it will make you much more resilient if you face sudden unemployment. Again, something that we cannot control. So invest in yourself, because that also gives you the confidence to move forward and feel like you're in a position to handle anything that life throws at you. And as someone in this community where we're talking about finances and looking at ways that we can build our financial fortress and our financial fortune, it's important to invest in yourself. Invest in yourself. Look at creating additional streams of income, either through side hustles, either through looking at renting out your property and creating a second income stream with a property. Look at as many different ways as possible to build multiple streams of income. And that's my wish for you, is as a financial planner who's been there herself, who's had to go from 0 to a 7-figure net worth, I wish all women out there wealth. I wish them the opportunity to pay off their debt sooner, to take control of their finances sooner rather than later. So thank you so much for listening to this video. If you have questions on how you can improve your financial IQ, if you want to look at strategies, have a half an hour free consultation on how you can improve your debt scenario and pay off your debt sooner, please direct message me. Please reach out to me. Please reach out to my team. We're happy to talk to you. We're also able to share with you this month's timely tip of how you can pay off your debt sooner, 10 tips that you can do that. Reach out to us for that if you'd like as well. Thank you again for listening. Have a great day.